Hello, hello, guys. Welcome to Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez. I'm super excited for today's guest. So we are going to be talking about boosting your creativity in making music, and we are going to be talking to KrizE about his new song that's come out, and it's already hit over 20K, Church with No Walls, and about his career and so much more. I'm super excited. So welcome, Mr. KrizE. Hello, hello. Make sure your mic is on here.
Hello,
Perfect.
hello.
All right. So how are you doing tonight?
Doing great.
Yes, I'm super excited we were able to get you tonight. Super honored to have you here.
Great. I'm excited myself.
Yes. And I'm excited your new video just came out and it is already getting so many views.
Right. It's getting a lot of views and engagement. I just think it's a good topic of discussion, considering everything our world is going through in this time.
Yes. And I love that you are so spiritual and that you are creating your own path and you are using, your faith, using everything in your being to kind of just express how you're feeling, to inspire others and creating your own pathway.
Yes. I think that's important. Like for us to all be, who we are, who God has called us to be. I think that is very important in this day in which we live. Sorry, this is my son.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm doing it live.
I love it. It's so handsome.
All right, so
This is real.
Yeah, hey, look, I don't run away from any hat that I wear. So I wear a lot of hats.
I love it. Yeah, you do wear many hats. How do you juggle so many different positions?
I think for me, I tell this when I'm in interviews or like real interviews for job or contracts or things like that. It's important, like for us as humans or individuals, like to be 100% sent. Like I learned this, and what that means is like wherever you find yourself, like wherever you are, whatever you're engaged in, like just be engaged in it, especially when you're, like you're there. Like you see my son, even though I'm doing this interview, I really don't lock myself off because I wear a lot of hats and I'm doing a lot of different things. So I'm home and I, should be doing homey things. So
I love it. Yeah. I love it. And you're just present in the moment, which is really beautiful. Yeah. So how long have you been singing and been working as a musician?
So, honestly, I've been going to this 2020. So you're looking at 2012-ish, 13-ish, or officially 15-ish to be real serious. And I was in a group, and then we kind of everything went awry with that, and I went solo almost 2 years ago now. And so about 2 years I've been KrizE for almost 2 years. So it hasn't really been a full 2 years yet.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's so exciting. Congratulations. So much has been happening for you.
Yeah, definitely in that period of time, I would say. Yes.
Have you noticed during quarantine that you've been more inspired and more creative?
Yes, and I think for me though, a lot of it has just been from meditation though, not really like I'm getting back into the element of like creation. I did a new song I plan to release sometime next year. I did that like about 4 weeks ago. That was my first time actually getting back and working in a studio.
Wow.
I just been spending a lot of time. I took the time during the first part when our government shut down everything to spend that time, those 3 months with my family, like without trying to figure out what am I gonna do with me. Like, I wasn't even trying to figure that out. I kind of took that. I took that as a hiatus, right? Like I didn't take a break, but I took a break, kind of sort of thing.
Yeah. I love that so much because you were really appreciating your loved ones and recentering yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what is your creative process for creating new music?
For me, like right now, personally, like what I've been working on is I've been practicing a lot of different melodies and cadences. But really, with me, if you listen to my music, it's all about thought, right? A topic of a discussion or a thought. Like for me, music doesn't come from me. Oh, I need to make the #1 Billboard hit. Like it doesn't start there for me. It starts from a thought or an experience. Things like that for me is I try to tell testimonies of experience, whether it's my experiences or somebody that shared a story with me. I will tell your story.
Yeah.
believe that I will. So
I love it. Yeah. And I love how all of your music, something inspirational comes out of each song, and there's a meaning behind each song.
right. I think for me, because music impact me in so many ways, not just inspirational music, but just music in general. It impacts me as an individual in so many ways.
Yeah.
So I think it would be robbery for me to be an artist and not feel like people that listen to me aren't like me in some way.
Yeah, music is so important. I feel like, especially right now with everything going on, music is life. Entertainment is so important. All the arts are such a huge thing, and it's so uplifting and can completely change a mood and can inspire you.
Yes. You just never know that one day you're like kind of in a rough spell, and all of a sudden you hear maybe your favorite artist's voice, or maybe a statement that is made in a line, and like, whoa, everything, like it's like a light bulb goes off, and what you were going through, what you were stuck with is like it's released, and you're like, okay, that's over. Oh, I feel good. Let's go on with life or whatever.
Exactly. I love that so much. Who is someone that you'd want to collaborate with?
Right now, someone I would like to collaborate with, I don't even really be thinking like that, honestly. But there are some individuals I would like to work with. I know there's this artist, there's a rapper, his name is 1K Few. I really like him. I just like him because of his style, and he's good with melodies as well. That's one of the big people that's on my list to work with right now.
Nice.
Honestly.
Nice. Have you noticed in the industry that you've tried to be persuaded to work a different way or to be kind of put in a box?
I would say this. So for me, like the music I make is supposed to fit. It's supposed to. I don't think it does though. It's supposed to fit the CHH community, which we call the Christian hip hop community. But when people listen to my music, they say that my music doesn't fit that mold. Ironically, I make inspirational music, as you said, and it fits the common man. That's what I say. Like my stories, the way I express my faith, it fits the common person. Whether that person is a believer or a non-believer, I found that they can feel, whether that inspiration they believe may be from God or just from the positive tone of where I'm coming from, like they feel it. So I just think that it reaches the common person.
Yes, it's so true. And I love that you say it's so strong on your path and you're so driven to inspire others, keeping your own voice.
Yes, I think that's important
Yeah.
to, especially in today's music, because like the industry can make, like they make artists that we like, or sometimes we don't really know if we like them, but they make us like them because that's what they give us,
Yeah.
And then it's like you find that one artist that no one knows about, like, whoa, this is my favorite artist,
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the uniqueness that you have, and it is so inspirational, and it's so feeling too. And you can definitely, resonate with that.
Right. And I think, honestly, there's an old saying. I live by a lot of old sayings. I was kind of raised by my grandfather. What's from the heart reaches the heart, right? So the music that I make, it comes from the heart. Honestly, I'm not trying to, like, even though it's gonna sound like flashy, like I'm putting on, I'm not really trying to do any of those things. I'm really making music, from my heart.
Yeah, and it shows, definitely. I feel like being a dancer, a lot of the audience resonates and is in tune with when you're really dancing from your heart. I feel it's the same way with singers and musicians. When you're raw and real and open, people seem to get drawn to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so needed right now with everything going on in the world, for sure.
Right. Yeah, people, they need to, like, we've been closed up in our homes,
Yeah.
Some people, I think there's still people in, across our country that hasn't even been back to work. In some cases, they're still working from the couch, or, they haven't had the chance to get back in that natural creative element. So they have to recreate a new element for themselves to, do things. And I think that's good. I think I'm honestly ready to see what our world is going to look like when this is passed. I think it's gonna definitely be a better place because we all had to live with these convictions, our inner convictions because we've been encapsulated. So
Yes, I agree. And I feel like the world needed it. The world needed to slow down. Mother Nature needed to heal. And I feel like
yes,
we needed to, find our identity more and bond our relationships with other people that we want in our lives.
yes, exactly. Like it's like in this time frame, I believe I teach as well. So I talk my students about like who's on your dream team. Like, do you really, when you're busy, you don't really know you're working with all these different people, but you don't really know those 5 individuals that if it hit the fan, who's gonna still be standing with you? Like that's your dream team. It's
Yes.
important to know who those people are, and I think that this pandemic should have opened our eyes to who's still, around and with us when
Yes.
we're going through all this stuff. So
Yes, and I love that so much. I've kind of gone through the same thing with being aware of who I have in my circle and who I allow into my life, and anything that's negative or toxic or drama, I have been like, "You're not around." Sorry. Yeah. So very exciting. So, how long have you been singing, and do you do any like other musical instruments?
I don't play any instruments, but like when I first got started, I did engineering.
Okay.
And as I got busy out doing other things outside of music, I just pay for engineering now, and I'm kind of getting back into that.
Nice.
Working on building some different things in my local town, and I want to use it. I want to build a studio and use it as a mentorship program with some kids around here that I think it could be a positive element for my community. So I'm working on that.
Oh, I love that.
Small town, but big things and great things can come out of small towns.
Exactly. For sure. You got to make a difference, right?
Yes, yes.
I love it so much. So what future things do you have coming up for you?
So one big thing I have coming up, as I said, I recorded this record with who I can say it now. She's a #1 Billboard charting artist. Her song is like #1 on the Billboard, on the gospel Billboard. It doesn't matter. It's a Billboard. But her song is #1. I think it's been #1 for like 3 weeks right now. And we recently did a record with a producer named Kid Class, who's a Grammy-nominated producer, multi-Grammy-nominated producer, I think. And I think that's going to be a big record for me as well. And we plan to release that early in 2021.
Woo.
Yeah, so that's one of the big things. And I'm just trying to continue to put myself in a position where I could have an opportunity to expand my brand to, a greater audience, a larger audience.
Yeah, and you already are. I love listening to your stuff. I've been looking at all your information on your social media and stalking you away. And I love everything that you're doing and the positive message that you're spreading, and that you are your own person and you're not letting anyone deter you, and you're pushing yourself forward.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is, like, when you work as really independent and your resources are limited for one. But that's not an excuse. But it's like, if I only had this, and if I only had this, but sometimes you just, as my manager says, you have to create it. Like, you have to be that entrepreneur, because like being an artist is really an entrepreneur. That's what you are. I mean, so I speak to other artists and they're all chasing record deals. I'm not really chasing a record deal. I'm chasing the right situation that gives me the right resources, right?
Yeah.
I've been spending so much money on my own record company, I'm spending all my money on it. So,
And I love that you have so much hustle and so much drive. I have so much respect for that.
Yeah. And it's, if we have where drive meets opportunity, how the old saying about success?
Yeah.
It's when preparation meets opportunity, right? So you're successful when your preparation, your hard work, whether it was 10 years, 5 years, or you could have started last month and you were just really good at it and you were given the right opportunity, and all of a sudden you have this success. But I don't believe in overnight success, but there are stories, where it's just where you were prepared for an opportunity and you took advantage of it. So
I love it. Yeah. So everyone needs to prepare themselves and not expect something to happen overnight, and just let it happen.
Yeah, and it will happen if you like if you keep knocking on, the door of your neighbor, sooner or later they're gonna like, what does this guy want?
Yeah.
They're gonna give you what you want. But if you fumble it, you
Yeah.
can't, you can't blame it on anybody but yourself. But they're gonna give you that opportunity if you, keep knocking. And I feel like I'm knocking on the industry's door, like, let me in. If you don't let me in, I'm coming in through a crack. Somewhere I'm gonna come in, somewhere.
I love that so much. Yes, determination, man.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm excited for your project coming out. So everyone heard that here possibly first, maybe?
Definitely.
Whoop, whoop.
For me, I don't know what other people on my team has been sharing, but for me, yeah, you got that exclusive.
Aw, awesome. So exciting. And then you also preach, right? You do street preaching?
Oh no, I do real preaching, street preaching as well. But I pastor 2 churches. So I pastor a church that was founded by a man named Thomas Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tell you, I'll give you the testimony of how I even got into that. So my life, I got married at a very early age. I got married at 20 years old. And about that age, I kind of got into ministry. I was running from that because people were like, you have this. I'm like, no, I don't. No, you don't know. I sold drugs. I'm no, not me. I'm the guy that's dealing drugs. How could I tell somebody about the goodness of the Lord? Like that just,
Wow.
But I ran from that, and, God would do what he does. You can't, if God has something for you, you really can't, you can't get away from it. And I said, well, I would preach. I would preach on the streets. I would preach wherever, but I would never be a pastor. How can I lead people? I don't even understand how people do that. Like, this is years ago, because I've been doing this for some years now. And all of a sudden, here I am, right? Pastoring a church. And I said I never would do that. So everything that I said I never would do that God was calling me to do, wow. Like I just, maybe that's irony, or maybe that's just destiny, or
Right.
whatever people believe of fate. I like to believe in fate.
Mm-hmm.
I would call that fate, I think even me finding my wife, that was fate.
Wow.
It wasn't a coincidence, because I'll tell you that story. This is elegant, conversation.
Yeah,
So I'll tell you
I
that
love
story.
it.
So we were high school sweethearts, and I broke up with my wife in high school because I loved her.
Okay.
I fell in love, and I was like, this guy that doesn't fall in love, supposed to be. I'm like, no, I don't want to be with you. So I broke up with her, and we get back together, and we never separated again. So, and we get married at 20, and we have, and the funny thing about my life story is like, I asked God, I wanted to have all of my children by age 30.
Wow.
So we believe we're done. And we had our little son who's 3. And yeah, I'm not 30 yet. And that was back in high school. I think I wrote that in some kind of journal in high school. And it's crazy. Like, I think about all this stuff, and I look, when you're living life, you don't really think about it until something forces you to sit down and look back on things that you committed to. And like, whoa, wow, I kind of did that, And I just think it's important, for us to have some sort of belief. I know everybody's not going to have the same belief, but I think having that spirituality is a part of us having good health.
I agree.
It keeps us grounded. It keeps us sane, because there's a lot of stuff that wants to make us go crazy in this world,
Yeah.
So we need something to lean on.
That's so true. I love it. I love your stories. I love your life journey too, and how you've, manifested, and your faith has kept you so driven.
Yes, it's a big part. It's a big part of my life, and it's just, I think it's who I am. I like to say that, like I say, I'm 100% sent. So like, wherever I am, I believe that the essence of God is going to be displayed, whether I'm speaking on God or whether I'm just living out who He has created me to be.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm not trying to peg Jesus on anybody's forehead or give them a mark or anything like that. But I think that if we can be, living examples of what we profess, then that's the best way people would believe in what you stand for, or, what you believe.
Yes, I love that so much. And I love how genuine and real and raw and just open and giving you are. And you're staying so humble through even some of this fame that's starting to come your way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could be, you know, I think I could be, you know, prepared for that. I've been prepared for that because I'm I'm a person that desires a lot of things, but I don't want anything. Like my birthday's coming up at the end of this month, actually the last day of this month, and everybody asks me, "What do you want? What do you want?" I don't want anything, you know.
Yeah.
But if somebody asks me what do I desire, I will lay out a whole list, you know, of things. But it's like things that I desire. I feel like it's things that I have to do to, you know, get.
Yeah. I love that. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that. I'm going to remember that too, you know, not what you want, but what you desire. And just to keep strong and to keep having that faith.
Right. Exactly. Like, and because it's been countless times, like even with me doing music, that because I do a lot of other stuff, it's like, man, I could just stop like doing music. But I think about why I got pulled into it, and I know, and like it's crazy because sometimes when I feel like well, I'm not making any progress, crazy things will start happening. Like it's like God, I do something crazy. Like no, you need to calm down. It's
Yeah.
okay. This is not over yet, you know, because I kind of went through that right before this pandemic.
Wow.
I was like, man, I think this may be the end of this. You know, I think I've turned my last wheel, and whoa, I'm working with Grammy producers and #1 Billboard artists, and it's like I ain't never even seen these people before. You know?
Wow. That's
But
exciting. Yeah. And it's so neat that you're in tune with paying attention to the signs.
yeah, exactly. And my just another saying. My aunt likes to say you have to know how the wind blows for you because the way the wind blows for every person is different.
Yeah.
Because we're all unique. So, like the way Jacqueline, the way the wind would blow for you is going to be different.
Yeah.
So you know your season when you're like a lot of blessings are going to be coming in, and then you know your season where it's just I got to make it through this.
Yeah, that's so true. And I feel like for me, I've been going through the same thing where I feel like this huge push, something's driving me. And I know that I've got lots of angels that are watching over me and helping me through because I have so many blessings. And I've been meeting so many incredible, inspiring people like you that has just been touching my lives. And I'm so excited to share, you know, these beautiful people's journeys.
Right, and that is power too. Like when we share, like you know, I preached to my church like about 4 weeks ago. Like, you know, the people like this, what we're doing, I don't believe is by coincidence. You know, I don't know you. This is my first time, you know, engaging with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not by coincidence. You know, God, I believe, brings people like you know, or things or events into your life that you won't understand in the moment sometimes.
Yes.
Especially when it's like people that are in your life and then they're not.
Yeah.
And you have the question, how did I ever get caught in there? Why?
Yeah.
And then later, years from later, or maybe at some point you realize that was preparing you for something else. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't meaningless. Nothing is ever meaningless. You know, we can get frustrated in life, but nothing is ever meaningless. You know, every day that you live, it was meant for you to live because someone didn't live it.
Yeah.
Know?
Yeah.
Someone, you know, that's like, you know, there are countless people right now because of this pandemic, you know, that aren't here.
Yeah.
Yet, you know, me and you are engaging, right?
Yeah. So. That's so true. Oh my gosh. I just got chills.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Is there anyone that you wanted to do a special shout out to?
Yes, special shout out first to my wife, Isha. Always be like, she's definitely my backbone.
Mm.
You know, she is to give you a Bible reference, my Song of Solomon. You know, yeah.
Beautiful.
And my manager, Terrell, he definitely, you know, keeps me motivated, keeps me just as much as I keep him motivated, he keeps me motivated. Like, hey man, what's going on? What you doing? Don't get lazy, you know. Like he keeps, hey, I got this, you know, we're gonna get you engaged in this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm always a let's do it guy. Like that's just I'm like, let's do it. That's just me, you know.
I love it. Nice.
Yeah. And my mom as well. And just my family in general, because they all support me in so many ways. Like I couldn't even begin to roll out this list of ways, like you know, that they support me. So
yeah, and that's huge to have that family support is such a big impact.
Yeah, and I know everyone. Like for me, I know every person doesn't have that. Like I see it as a pastor. Like, and I thank God that I have it because so many people that meet my family, and it explains why I am the way I am. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
my family explains why I'm humble, why I'm gracious. Like, it's just my upbringing. Like, you wouldn't know I grew up, you know, with my father kind of away for
Wow.
predominantly, you know, my whole life pretty much. But yet, you know, I love him and he's in my life now. Like, even though he wasn't in my life for a long time when I was a child, I don't have many memories of that, but I make memories now.
No.
As I said, nothing in life is meaningless.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that so much. I'm going to be thinking about that now and really, just really just enjoying each moment more and realizing that, there's meaning to everything in the daytime and in the nighttime and just every moment to really, enjoy it.
yes. And why not? We're
Yeah.
gifted. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It has been such an honor and such a pleasure. Was there anything else that you wanted to tell the viewers?
Yes, everybody that's watching, if you want to listen to my music, if you want to find my music, you can find my music on whatever platform that you listen to music on, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, wherever it is. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. Excuse me. You can follow me on Instagram at KrizE.Young. That's KRIZE.Young. Really, all social media platforms.
Nice.
At that, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Also,
and we will actually have your information too on after our interview. We will post it too.
oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, definitely follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel because we're going to be doing some unique things with YouTube in the future.
Nice, exciting. What is it that you want to be remembered for?
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Yeah. This is real life.
Yeah, I've been outside all day. I had a parade, and now I think it's kind of catching up with me. One of the biggest things I want to be remembered for is, did my life speak something of God? Honestly, like, I want to be remembered for that. Like, my life spoke something of my faith, and that I live by that. You know, I stood by that, not to offend anyone, but to encourage people, to reach, impact, and influence people in a positive way.
I love that. And you're already doing that. You're such a huge inspiration. And your music is just so beautiful. And it's just so from the heart. And I'm so excited for your journey and so excited to see all the exciting stuff coming up for you.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Yes. Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you for illuminating the world with your presence.
Thank you. It was an honor for me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And then after this interview, it will be podcasted on 7 different platforms, which is exciting. So tune into those. So thank you for listening to Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, illuminating the world one voice at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yes, ma'am.